Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Kristi Noem does not back down to the ridiculous questioning of Michigan Senator Thanedar, and of course, what he asked is completely insane. Let's dive in.
Secretary Noem, this past May, I asked you during a congressional hearing if it was the policy of DHS to follow orders issued by federal courts. You said on the record, and I'm quoting here, we are following all federal orders. End of my quote, end of your quote. Secretary Noem, you lied to me under oath that day. You lied to the American people, and you have betrayed the trust placed upon you in your role as Secretary of Homeland Security. You defied federal court orders when you refused to order the deportation flights to El Salvador in March to turn around. Federal courts have also found your department to have violated federal injunctions in your continue to send non-citizens on deportation flights, with some courts having called your orders unlawful. Secretary Noem, I just have 3 questions for you. 1, why did you lie under oath by saying DHS was following all federal court orders when they clearly were not?
Congressman.
Question 2, let me finish my questions. Question 2, why did you mislead the American people when you said that no American citizens have been arrested or detained by federal immigration agents? And my last question, number 3, Donald Trump said that your ICE agents haven't gone far enough. Do you think terrorizing American citizens and assaulting peaceful protesters isn't far enough?
Congressman, the Department of Homeland Security and this administration complies with all federal court orders. We always have and we always will.
Not true.
And we will continue to appeal. And sir, I will even tell you that at the highest court, at the Supreme Court, the Department of Homeland Security in our litigation has an over 90% success rate in winning at the highest court in our battle against activist judges across this country.
Madam
We have
Secretary,
activist judges that we will continue to appeal. And then when it gets to the highest court and we get a decision, it is proven that we are right, that we have been compliant. I will also say,
Madam Secretary, let me...
Do you want me to answer your questions or not?
I do, but let me... you haven't been telling us the truth. Look, there have been at least 170 known cases of citizens being arrested or detained by federal immigration agents this year alone. This is the truth. Are you lying to the American people right now by denying these reports?
When we are doing our targeted enforcement operations against criminal illegal aliens, individuals that are in that area may be detained until we verify who they are, and then they are released. This has been done for years, and every single law enforcement operation that has always happened, we follow the same protocols, and we continue to do that. We have never once detained or deported an American citizen. We have not held them and charged them. When we find out and verify their identity, then that is when they are released. You also asked about ICE agents going far enough. Sir, I will tell you that every single ICE agent, CBP agent, federal law enforcement officer that's out there doing their work every day, none of them will rest until our communities are safe. None of them will rest until terrorists,
Secretary Noem, it is a fact that you ignored federal orders.
And our children and our grandchildren can grow up.
Let me reclaim my time here, please. Let me reclaim. Secretary Noem, it is a fact that you ignored federal court orders in March and in May of this year. Do you plan on ignoring more federal orders?
I'm
sick of your lies. And the American people demand the truth.
Because you keep saying it doesn't make it true.
I am sick of your lies. The American people are sick of these lies. American people demand truth.
America is very happy that finally they have a president in the White House that gets up every day to keep them safe.
Madam Secretary, your incompetence and your inability to truthfully carry out your duties of Secretary of Homeland Security, if you're not fired, will you resign?
Sir, I will consider your asking me to resign as an endorsement of my work. Thank you very much.
The American people are sick of your lies. Sir, the American people are sick and tired of charlatans like Thanedar coming through the somehow winning their primary systems. This is an absolutely ridiculous set of circumstances with an absolutely ridiculous amount of dumb questions. Have you lied to the American people? About what? What are you talking about? People that have been briefly detained because they have either been messing with ICE agents trying to do their jobs. There's been a whole bunch of that happening. You know what happens? They get released. They get released, they get briefly processed and go, okay, there's no charges against you. The reality is we had to detain you because you were messing with everyone else. We're not going to charge you with anything. We're going to be nice to you. Now get out of here and don't do this dumb thing again. Hey, y'all. About half this country has high blood pressure. And with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, that means you are going to be sitting across from people that you love that are likely affected by it. Some might not know it, some might not talk about it, but that's why this is the perfect moment to take charge of your health or help someone else with theirs. Go to 120life.com. That's 120life.com and use my code BRAWL for 20% off. Try it risk-free for 2 weeks. And if your blood pressure doesn't come down, you're going to get a full refund. So there's nothing to lose except your high blood pressure numbers. So use code BRAWL for 20% off of your order today. Then, talking about the potential of American people being deported, the only instances that I can think of, and that's because if the mainstream media talks about it at all, that means that there has been at least a brief blip. And I have something called the 30-hour rule. And if we're talking about a story 30 hours after it first breaks, that means that there's something real going on here. And the 4 stories I can think of, 2 of them have been recent. One where someone, a pregnant lady who's an American citizen, was dating an illegal immigrant. I believe the child was going to be his. And she got detained screaming about the fact that she's an American citizen, even though she was quite literally trying to make it harder for ICE agents to do their job. There's another lady that got caught under similar circumstances, and I believe both of those happened within the past week. Nothing came of that. Then there were 2 children whose parents decided, yes, we're going to send them with, I believe, the mother in both cases, and we're going to fly them out to their countries so the child can be with the mother. The father didn't want to take care of it, and the mother said, yes, I want the full custody. So these kids that were dual citizens were allowed to be deported with the mother so they can receive the proper health care in those other countries. And the Democrats screamed about that for about 24 hours until people started pointing out that, wait a minute, do you not believe that third world countries have good doctors available? Are you saying that we're the only place on the planet that actually has medical care? That gets a lot of Democrats to stop talking now, doesn't it? Because it's an insane policy point talked about by people who do not have a basis in reality and will instead vote for people like Thanedar here, who has no real talking points, no basis in reality, and keeps on talking about the illegitimacy of the Department of Homeland Security. Okay? The illegitimacy. The incompetency. Funny, when it comes to illegitimate, I immediately think of guys like Alejandro Mayorkas, who was told by the Biden administration to shuffle your feet as best as possible, drag everything through a long process, and make sure that you are turning a blind eye when illegal immigrants come across this border and commit crimes at surprisingly high rates. That sounds like incompetency to me. But competency to Democrats terrifies them. Because when Republicans actually have competent government, all of a sudden, that takes away from one of their classic talking points, that Republicans can't govern. And that terrifies them. When they see someone like Kristi Noem who says, nope, the gloves are off, we're tired of dealing with the nonsense, we are going to start deporting people, we will briefly detain people who get in our way, we're going to release them back once they prove who they are, we're not going to add extra charges. We are doing something that is quite literally humane that in other countries would get you locked up inside the clink for quite a long time. Europe is starting to adopt similar policies, might I add, when it comes to people who are actually protesting on either side. This is happening in Germany and in Italy, and it's getting really interesting to cover politics over in the UK, but that's not what's going on here. I'm only bringing those nations up because there have been instances where people have gone too far one way or the other, and their police forces have gotten tired of it. Here in the United States, we detain you briefly, you get released. No charges filed. I don't think we understand just how merciful that is, and when we're talking about mercy and detainment, we're already in very troubled waters. So the question is, how did we get here? It's just this weird mindset that says, I don't want to vote for people who look like me. Yet, every other time we notice this trend, we notice that minority voters will vote for their fellow minorities every single time. And I'm trying to say that purely in a vacuum to describe the average Democrat voter mindset. Because it's this weird two sides of the same coin. Meanwhile, Republicans, they just want someone competent. It's why Republicans get behind people like Wesley Hunt. It's why we used to love Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell. It's why we voted for people like Mitt Romney to begin with. Highly competent people, but yet they seemed, in the case of Mitt Romney, he kind of missed the ball on quite a few things. No wonder he didn't win election in 2012. Republicans like their competency. They like competent leaders. Democrats are terrified of that because if Republicans ever show that, yes, they can effectively wield the sword of government, it breaks the charade that Republicans love the idea of just leave me alone, don't do anything with federal power because we're afraid that the Democrats will use it against us. Democrats are terrified of competent Republicans, and we're seeing that with Kristi Noem, and so they are grasping at straws wherever they can, and that's why you have this ridiculous screep at Thanedar here, asking 3 questions that aren't based in reality, aren't based in legality, and aren't based on what the federal government is allowed to actually do. The Supreme Court keeps on backing up the Department of Homeland Security, and the Democrat Party is furious about, well, reality. But those are my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politbro. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.